Let's move. Sup guys, welcome back to my channel Moving with Skinny, and today we have Sofi Thwala, the man himself, Sofi. Yeah, welcome to the channel, bro.
Thank you, bro. So good to be here.
Yeah, so just tell us, who are you, where are you based, and what do you do?
Yeah, Sofi Thwala. I'm based here in Durban. I'm a biokineticist, second, but a lover of life first. I now specialize more in spinal care and strokes, but have a great history in schoolboy rugby. So yeah, biokineticist.
Okay, and then what is speed to you? Do you believe in agility? And yeah, so in your profession, what is speed to you? Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously working with schoolboy rugby before, speed meant everything for us. Obviously, it's the ability for you to be able to generate power over distance at a very fast pace. And so I think back in the day, it was a little bit harder to always just look for speed. You had to look for power as well. But I think now we're in a place where we need speed. You look at your forwards, your whatever position now, you need speed. So for me, speed means the ability to make sure that you cover all the distance, and also at reaction time. It gives you that platform to react. And so yeah, speed is good. Agility is very good. Agility for me means safety. If you can be agile and be able to move, it means that you can avoid more incidents and everything like that. So, yeah.
And then from a bio perspective, is there such thing as injury prevention management?
Yeah, injury prevention is one of the most important things. I think we generally, especially rugby guys, we got that macho mano a mano thing. So we generally look at life as more of a, I'll respond to when I'm injured, you know, but general rule of life, prevention is always better than cure.
Yeah.
That's something that we always have to understand. So when you are training, doing anything or preparing for rugby, boxing, cricket, whatever, always prepare yourself in a way that will always prevent injuries. Your programming, your conditioning, your mental state, everything, you have to be ready to train in a way that will always keep you aware, or keep you aware actually of injuries, and plan your programs in that way. So injury prevention is one of the most important things you could ever do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have worked with a lot of athletes from high school who are now big names, Sanele Nohamba, Pepsi, Umpilo, you know. And congrats on that. Does player management exist in high school sports? Because I feel like, especially here in Durban, every weekend is a big game.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of someone being benched,
Yeah.
because it's Glenwood, it's Kersney, it's
Yeah.
Hilton.
Yeah.
Whereas at the Sharks, they'll be like, no, Cohen Bosch, you know, like, relax. You've played so many games,
Yeah.
you know. So does player management actually exist in high school?
It does. It does. I think if you look at the guys that you've mentioned, a lot of them, their success now as them playing in the Sharks or whichever other setup they're playing in, a lot of their success is actually based on the fact that they were managed very well as players with their high school. So you got to give credits to their schools. It's not just talent and hard work anymore. Because if you understand, is those guys are working a professional life in high school. They still got to go to class. They still got to do all those things. They don't have access to the gym every 4 or 5 hours or whatever. They have certain time that they're allocated. So how you manage players is the most important thing. I think one of the greater movements that's happening right now is the setup of medical centers in schools. I think getting medical centers set up, getting sports psychologists into the schools, biokineticists, physios, that helps to manage your players.
Okay.
It's really hard to go and bench a Pepsi in high school in matric when he's head boy of the school and he's beating, breaking records. It's very hard to do that. So what you do have to do is allow those players enough rest time in the week and enough recovery, and that's where things like recovery come in. You don't have to bench someone all the time, but if you can help them recover quicker, if your recovery plan is great. You know, I see a lot of schools now introducing yoga on Sundays, introducing stretching activation on a Sunday, the day after the game. Those type of things are very important. So player management is the most important thing you can do. Any school, doesn't matter if you're tier 1, tier 2.
Okay.
If you can manage your players very well, you can get the most out of them. And then utilizing those off days, like really off weeks and stuff, utilizing very well. So I think it's one of the most important steps in creating a career for these boys.
Okay, you spoke about rest, and I want to know, in your world, like, what's a good week prep for game week? What does it involve? Because you spoke about rest, that some guys rest during the week and then they still get to play. But like, what does a good prep week for game week involve?
Yeah, so I think if you've had a game on Saturday, I think Sunday is very good to have what we call active rest. Your little tiny swim here and there, stretching. I really like the idea of yoga, Pilates and stuff. Obviously not high intensity, but low intensity yoga stuff. And then your recoveries on your Mondays. A lot of the times the schools now introducing sports massage on Mondays, getting the kids. But we know old school, get back to school on Monday. You're doing hills, you're doing all those sprints and stuff, because you do also at the same time have just 1 week to do what you have to do to get ready. But rest is important. I think those first 2 initial days, and then getting back on that Tuesday, flushing out the system and getting ready for the next week. I do think that the most important thing for a prep week, especially during in-season, is more your mental capacity. A lot of the youngsters don't know how to rest mentally.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing, is resting mentally. You got to be able to rest mentally so that your brain can send down messages to your muscles, like, this is what we're actually doing now. We're preparing for the week. I think later in the week, you're then getting into more your coordination, getting guys to get used to what they do every day.
Okay.
I don't think you should be really putting a lot of emphasis on fitness on the last couple of days, your Thursday, Fridays. You really just want kids to run through the systems and get them ready for Saturday. And then I believe on a good rest, good active rest on a Friday as well, just before game day. But again, it's all about muscle activation. Muscle activation, because all the work you've already done pre-season, you've already done off-season. In season, you're not really going to get 100% better than what you were before. It's your game that's going to get 100% better than what it was the week before. So now what the most important thing is getting yourself at a constant state of readiness for the games, and then just making sure that your muscles remember what you're doing. But the most important thing is that Sunday and Monday to get that recovery back. Yeah.
Okay. Nah, it's valid. And then before I give you your 30 seconds of fame,
Jeez, finally.
what advice would you give to parents in assisting us athletes do well in sports? As a bio, like, what's that one thing you'd actually want to say to parents, basically?
I think education is the most important thing. Let's get educated about what professions do. It's very good and well to just sign your child up for a strength and conditioning coach, which is really awesome. But look into things like posture, look into things like flexibility. Is your child flexible enough to actually play the position that he wants to play? Can we improve the child's flexibility? Core strength, what is happening with the child's core? Going back to things like injury prevention, let's assess the child, make sure that we know any other things that could cause injuries along the line. Let's look at how flat their feet are. Let's look if they need shoes that are going to be helping their arch. You know, there's little elements that you can do, and if you go to a biokineticist these days, you're not just going to someone who's going to treat you for injuries. You're going to someone who's actually going to better your life. More than that, they're going to actually improve your game and improve your ability to perform exercises. I think working together with the biokineticist and the strength conditioning coach, you get a good balance, because now you go into a strength and conditioning coach knowing exactly your abilities, judging from whatever or how good the biokineticist you were seeing. And I think so parents just need to do that and allow kids to really train mentally. I think mental strength training is the most important thing right now. A lot of kids don't want, or a lot of schools don't have that ability. So really getting kids to understand that your brain activation and your muscle activation is one thing. I think if you always remember, the mind is the manager of the body. There's nothing the body can do without the mind. So let's train the mind first, and then let's teach kids how to activate the muscles, right? And then we'll get to certain places that we really want to be.
Okay. And guys, you heard it, and now let's hear what he has to say for 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I'm really excited to see the future of this country and what you're doing. Very, very excellent work that you're actually educating. I think education is the most biggest thing. Follow me on Sofi Kanovi. That is my Instagram. And then just let's see where life takes us and where life takes you with moving with Skinny. So let's move.
Well, thanks guys. Don't forget, subscribe, share, and please share about the school that I started, man. A lot of people need help, but I can't call people out again, but again, it starts with the mind. If you know you need help, then you'll make a plan. And cut.